Jump fresh, give me hit lean. Everybody on my team win. Straight pulling up in the Audi. Hopping out, got a coat with lean in. Spin the cash out by 2 stack. I ain't capping, I ain't flex, and I spit true fat. Wanna play them game, need a hammer, we can bang. Bet 100, y'all get blue back. Jump clean, give me hit the yo. Make a track after that, finna go. Get the key, finna league, got a team, break it in, crack it up at the
Waivers, what's good, man? It's your boy Country Kane coming at you guys with another video. And just to get straight to it, man, this video today is basically about the different textures and how it applies to your waves. All right, let's see. Getting to it, man. I've seen a lot of cats talking about, you know, I want to be a wide waver. How can I make my waves wider? Or I want my hair to look like, I'm going to shout my man out, 360 Jeezy, because he showed love. Or he might say, I want my hair to look like Sir Cruz or Country Boy Daryl Aldridge. Or you might want to look like old Country Kane right here, you hear me? But here it goes, man. Really, what we really need to focus on is our brush, because, you ready for the secret? Your hair texture cannot change. Your waves are yours, and it's nothing you, nor I, or anybody can do about it. Now, there are ways to manipulate your textures, and those ways, and we'll go into that as well, but one of the ways you guys know how to manipulate your texture is, of course, add a texturizer. And this works by stretching your curl pattern or doing whatever else it manipulates it. It has its pros and cons, but I would prefer, and I would suggest to you guys, don't do that because you hurt your hair and you hurt your scalp if you do that, and especially if you do it when you're not properly trained to. But I know I got off course, but here goes. First of all, I would classify your hair textures in three different categories. Okay, for me, you have a coarse hair waver, you have your curly hair waver, and you would have your straight hair waver. And each one of those each one has different characteristics, and we're gonna go into that too. All right, first of all, your coarse hair waver. Those would be your more common waver. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just they just define as coarse hair, and we'll go into that as well. And then you have your curly hair and straight hair wavers. Those two can kinda fit in the same category, but there is a slight difference, being that some curls are involved with this, and we're gonna go over each individual category. Okay, so sit back. I know you got some time to listen to old Country Kane speak to you. Feel me? Let's go. Coarse hair waver. I personally don't like to use the word nappy unless I'm talking about my son. He gonna kill me when he hear this. But I personally don't like to use that word, because your hair is your hair. You should be proud of where you came from, your heritage, and anything else. And let me explain to you why this is considered a coarse hair waver versus nappy hair waver. This is why you like to use coarse hair. Okay, if you looked at any of my other videos, you hear me discussing the sebaceous glands, the ones that secrete the sebum from your scalp. Okay, being a coarse hair waver, your hair is coily. I gotta take one of my props. Being a coarse hair waver, your hair is coily, similar to this, meaning it's hard to stretch out. And it's not because your hair is bad. That don't make your hair bad. That just means that it's coiled tighter. So, remember that sebaceous gland that we're discussing? The sebum, pretend it starts here. This is the route that it has to take to get to the end of the hair. It's a hard route to take, right? So therefore, the oils are stuck to the head of the hair, and it's gonna take a lot more brushing than per se a straight hair waver to get this oil, which will be your sebum, to move throughout your hair follicle. Okay, and that's why the brushing is very important as wavers, because what we're doing in all actuality is we're moving oils throughout our hair follicle, and while we're moving the oils, what the oil does is it kind of takes this coil and stretches it out, which in turn causes waves, all right? Now, moving on to the straight hair waver. If you got questions about that one, go ahead and hit me on the inbox too. And okay, now moving to our straight hair wavers. Those wavers will be people more of a Caucasian type, Indian type heritage. I hate to use these ethnicities, but I'm trying to give you a better picture of what it is, because I mean, you can get the wave, however, it's gonna be a different wave. Meaning, this hair here is already in the straight pattern or whatever, for lack of a better word. So remember how we said the oil here has to travel throughout the hair follicle, and look at this course it has to take. It can't go through here. However, with a straight hair waver, it has nothing in the road deterring it from getting to the end of it. So therefore, the oil is easily moved throughout that hair follicle, which in turns, and you'll usually see this with someone, they may have this jet black hair and it's shiny naturally, and they don't have to use a lot of oils in their hair. We used to call them greasers back in the day, but they don't have to use that oil like a coarse hair waver, because their natural hair oil goes here, and this is their texture, and it'll go all the way in. So therefore, the same way you're using your brush, brushing is important for them as well, but the same way you're using your brush to uncoil this, your brush, since this is straight, the stimulation of it is also going to cause this to kind of wave up. And they'll also note a straight hair waver by the size of their waves. You know, you might have one that they may have 3 super-sized waves wrapped around their head, but that'll be more of a straight hair waver. Okay. Then last but not least, you will have what is considered a curly hair waver, and these are people whose hair is naturally curly. These people are more people like maybe come from a mixed nationality or something of the sort, which is not a bad thing, because everybody is blessed and everybody has a different story to tell. A curly hair waver, and I say curly even though of course it's curlier, a curly hair waver, their curls are here, but it's not as coarse, so it's stretched out more, which in turn give them kind of a wider wave than a coarse hair, but not as wide as a straight hair waver. So they kind of fit in between, and those more or less are the people who have problems with their waves. Not problems, they can easily get the wave, but it's harder to connect the wave because their curls are everywhere. So if these are my curls and I have curly hair and I got curls here, curls there, guess what? It's going to be hard to make those line up. So therefore, once again, brushing is very important to that texture. And also, once I've got the brushing part down, I have to start using other items in order to manipulate the hair textures or whatever. And let me get my brushing go with just what I mean. Okay. And for you guys that don't understand what I mean about getting the oils moved around in your hair, please go back up to some of my videos where I have the science of brushing, and it kind of tells you, because I don't want to take your time up no more with that, but it tells you the art of the brush, tells you which brush does what, and from that you can kind of determine what brush you'll need more in your brushing arsenal, and let you know how to kind of change your texture, because brushing hair, it doesn't change the texture atomically, but it can change the look of it, because what you're doing in all actuality again is you are stretching your curls to the point where your oils are reaching the tip, and you're training it to stay there because you're brushing often. Either category can reach that with their brushing sessions. And I did say I was going to give you guys a quick tip on how to widen your waves without the texturizer stuff, because I mean, of course, we as wavers, we're going to work hard to get our waves, and this is how we do it. I don't have it in front of me, but what I usually do, if that's what I'm doing, is I personally would go in with a deep conditioning method. It don't change the texture of your hair. What it does is it adds different elements to the hair that allows it to stay stretched and for a longer period of time than just brushing alone. So I would go in with a deep condition at least once a week, so you can kind of relax that texture without putting a texturizer in it. But what it does, it relaxes it, it keeps it from coiling up tight, and you're using a brush, which makes it easier, and you're putting compression on it, you know. So therefore your waves may not be as wide as a curly hair or straight hair waver. Your waves will have met their maximum potential, which I see a lot of cats out there with smaller waves and they spinning, they killing the game, you know. So on that note, man, I'm about to be about this thing, man. You know, Country Kane gotta go get the exercise on, and you people, you stay wavy, you stay brushed up, and you stay whatever you gotta do to get in this game right, you feel me? And on that note, beast mode, and I'm about this thing.